There are always athletes that are just way too good at what they do. In the boxing world, it's Demetrius "Boo-Boo" Andrade. The guy has a stellar fighting record, but just last week, he pulled out of a fight with Zach Parker that left everyone worried. In this video, we'll get into how he posted and told his fans to remain calm as he plans bigger things ahead. First up, what did he say to calm his fans down? Athletes don't pull out of fights unless there's a huge reason like an injury, an emergency, personal health issues, and more. Andrade was supposed to go against Parker for the interim WBO super middleweight title, but he opted to pull out. Apparently, he had a good solid reason to do so. Basically, he wasn't going to get the full purse for the fight, so it makes sense that he wouldn't fight where he isn't appreciated. The former world champion in 2 divisions is rumored to be in the process of a much bigger fight, definitely bigger than the Parker clash he was supposed to be at in 168. We're not sure yet who his opponent would be as of now, but as always, we have some ideas. Andrade could probably face David Benavidez or the WBA regular super middleweight champion David Morrell. Either way, we're excited to see who he fights. Following his exit, he posted, "We just getting started, keep calm," to his 393,000 Instagram followers, along with a sweaty picture of him shirtless in the ring. The comment section were flooded with a mixture of positive and negative replies. One follower joked that the guy is in his late 30s, so he should be ending it instead. Up next, why exactly did he drop out of the fight? Andrade wanted to go against Parker to become the WBO 168-pound mandatory for undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez, but after this, that won't be happening, because even if this fight had happened and he defeated Parker, Canelo would likely have vacated his title to avoid Andrade. Canelo has shown no interest in fighting the 34-year-old in the past, and it doesn't seem like that change. Andrade recently vacated his WBO middleweight title to avoid defending it against Janibek Alimkhanuly. Guess it would have been a fight that was more trouble than it was worth for him. Well, getting back to Andrade's clash with Parker, Jake Donovan reported that the withdrawal was expected since there was an over 80% potential cut. If WBO keeps going down this route, number 4 John Ryder will get the call instead. But frankly, they need to wear their big boy pants and order the fight between Canelo and Parker after they've been the top contenders for 2 years. The 34-year-old has a brilliant score of 31 wins with no losses. That's 19 knockouts. But even with all that, he doesn't have any leverage for a major fight to happen. He has no hardware, no financial incentive as we now know, and no rankings. His only shot at a major opportunity is if he pisses someone off with the title, which offers him decent money to settle the score. Moving on, Zach Parker reacts to the cancellation and says he's disgusted by Andrade's behavior. Parker isn't one of those fighters who talk a lot and usually is a man of few words, but the unbeaten super middleweight has plenty to say after being left with even fewer fights following Andrade's latest career move. Parker wants to move on but refuses to leave without a few parting words. He explained that he never badmouths a fighter and rarely speaks out loud, but this isn't right. He feels like his career has been badly stalled. He's lucky to have Frank Warren, his manager, Neil Marsh, and Black Country Boxing behind him, so he's ready to go. But if it weren't for them, it'd prevent him from going where he wants to with his career, especially with 22 straight wins and 16 knockouts. He's a top-rated contender. He continued that he knew Andrade would get knocked out clean. He was the perfect fight to progress towards his goal of becoming a world champion, but he has no choice but to move on. He looks forward to fighting in November and delivering a good performance for all of his fans and team. Parker then said that he feels badly messed up about this and is disgusted by such kind of behavior. He called Andrade's actions a pattern referring to what happened with Janibek at middleweight before he came to super middleweight and caused chaos. The 28-year-old said that Andrade first entered a purse bid with Frank Warren with a huge bid for the fight before pulling out with an injury. That's wasted time, effort, and money spent by those in the UK to make the big event happen. Following that, this isn't the first time he pulled out of a fight. This is the second time the 34-year-old has walked away from a planned interim WBO super middleweight, all within a span of a year. It was an injury that forced the American to withdraw from a scheduled bout on May 21st in Parker's hometown of Derby, England, and the general dissatisfaction over the purse bid ended in another withdrawal and prompted Andrade to have his team contact the WBO to inform his decision to move in a different direction. Parker had said that going back to middleweight and messing up, thereby dropping his belt at the 11th hour, but Demetrius pulling out again because he wasn't happy with his purse was just disappointing, to say the least. Fans under his Instagram post had some not so pretty words to say about the boxer either. They urged him to leave the sport instead of ruining it, and told him that he's been out of the ring for too long and only has 5 fans left. Now moving on to other related news that might interest you. First up, Canelo Alvarez was accused of racism. Mexican fighter Alvarez has been accused by Clarissa Shields of racism in relation to the opponents that he chooses to fight. He's the reigning super middleweight champion after his victory over Gennady Golovkin and is widely regarded as the the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. It's said that he picks easier opponents than others, but this fresh allegation is different. Shields denounced him for discriminating and marginalizing certain fighters when selecting them to fight. He's faced this criticism before to some extent from Mexico. She commented that Andrade is a superior boxer, but Canelo doesn't want to fight Mexican or black fighters. She wants to see Canelo against Andrade and Charlo against Benavidez. These big fights are what everyone wants to see, and bless her for vocalizing what all fans want. Up next, Eubank Jr. vs. Ben was postponed due to legal pursuits. It was an agonizing wait and a sad end to the Eubank Jr. vs. Ben now that it's not officially going to happen at the O2 in London. Conor Benn tested positive for a banned substance. There were trace amounts of clomiphene, a women's infertility drug, found in his system, but when the UK anti-doping agency took the test, it came out negative. This meant a lot of work would have to be done by the promoter Eddie Hearn. He has an avenue to try to get the catchweight bout over the line by calling in lawyers and more. He hoped that he could turn the entire thing around after the British Boxing Board of Control withdrew from sanctioning the fight, but Matchroom and Wasserman told WBN that after many discussions, the event is formally postponed, but they said that the decision by the council is procedurally flawed and without due process, so it's a legal issue that they intend on pursuing, but for the fighters to be stuck in a ring during this isn't a good idea. As promoters, they take their obligations and duties seriously, and a full investigation would need to take place. The authorities refused to make any more comments before saying that the ticket holder refunds would follow. They haven't suspended Conor Benn, so the fight will still take place at some point. Finally, Denzel Bentley is adamant he can shock the world. Since Andrade wasn't willing to fight the champion, Janibek Alim Kanuli and Denzel Bentley swiped the opportunity. They'll be going head-to-head at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas on the 12th of November. The two-time British champion Bentley challenged the unbeaten Kazakh in under 2 months after making a successful first defense of his Lonsdale belt against Marcus Morrison. With 14 knockouts, Bentley won his British title with a victory against Mark Heffron in 2020. Janibek, on the other hand, is labeled as boxing's most avoided world champion, so with an opponent coming his way, he didn't say no. Bentley is ready to shock the world by winning the world title. He thinks it'll be a good and exciting fight that he can win, and that Janibek is beatable. So let's see if his words have some truth to them. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Andrade pulling out of another fight? Is it a good move in his career? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.